Shalom and blessings, warriors of Yahuwah and the truth. Yahuwah, whenever I am afraid, I will trust in you. Slogan of the day. I'm going to continue on with our Sunday Origins series. I don't have much left to read of this book. We're about halfway through right now. Excuse me. Okay. This is the back of the book. I don't think I ever showed you guys. And then this is the front. Okay, Bella, you can sit up here. Okay. The next section that I'm going to be reading is, I don't think I read this in my last video. I should have checked first, but it's a word about time. Since creation, about 6,000 years have been completed. These 6 millennia are the first 6 days, and the 7th will be the millennium of rest. We are very close to the end of the nations, or the Goyim, ruling themselves. Given the distances in light years that we can see into the heavens, outer space, many have fixed the age of the universe at almost 20 billion years. Man, 20 billion years, Bean, that's a long time. Yes, it is. Yeah. Okay. Let me see. To look at Adam 5 minutes after he was created, they might estimate him to be 20 years old. 5 minutes after he was created, he was estimated to be about 20 years old. That's something that's a little hard for the brain to fathom. To look, okay, yes. They might estimate, yes. Okay, the trees with fruit on them were brought into being fully developed. The animals created the day after the plants needed the oxygen from the plants. That's possibly why the animals came second. Relativity has been at work. Also since the beginning, when Yahuwah created I hope I don't butcher this, the KAISERs and galaxies of stars. QUASARS. And galaxies of stars. He brought their light to shine upon the earth. Let me see here. That's what it says. He created space-time. The real moons and years are based on the signs and seasons, and measured in packages of years called jubilees, or yobel, numbering 50 years each. The pagan mind interpreted the sun, moon, and stars and changing seasons based on fertility and sex. Astrology and the zodiac are the source of all sorcery and rebellion. Plant and animal sex is Yahuwah's design, but the fallen state of man caused him to worship it and established religious traditions based on its processes. All history was recorded by the winners. It's understandable that their process of measuring time is what is used today. My puppy fell out of her diaper again. Oh, okay, Bella Bean. You have to keep this on. I apologize, guys. You can't be getting the pouch dirty. No. No, no, no. Okay, there you go, Bean. Okay. Okay, it's to protect you from brother. Okay. Alright, so... All history, okay, the original pattern of Roman timekeeping, established by the authority of Julius Kaiser, or Caesar, in 46 BCE, is still with us. Originally, Roscoe, stop. Roscoe, hey! Originally, the first Roman month was March. Roscoe, stop it. After you have read this a number of times, you may begin to see this pagan process of keeping time is a kind of mark on us. Okay, the next section is, what is a week, a day, and a moon? A week is a unit of 7 nights and days. A day is from evening to evening, experienced from whatever location one happens to be on the earth. A moon is concerned with neither a week or a day, but in the complete orbital cycle of the moon around the earth, beginning and ending when the moon comes between the earth and the sun. Its period is 697 Earth hours, or 29.5 days, and its orbit is not concerned with any one location on Earth, only the Earth, Moon, and Sun in relation to one another. Roman time, the months. The Roman calendar of months ignores the real lunar phases. Bella, you can't keep spinning around. That's how you get your diaper off. I know it. Okay. I feel like something bit me. Oh my gosh. Yes, I think I got bit by a spider or something. And I'm terrified of spiders. The Roman calendar of months ignores the real lunar phases and the moon phases. The term blue moon refers to the second full moon that may occur in a Roman month. Roman hypocrisy knows no bounds. I'm sorry, I'm going to pause this real quick so I can put some itch stuff on my toe. It's horrible. Yeah, it's got to be a spider bite. Ow. Okay, 1 second. I'm sorry about that, guys. Okay. March, the first month. Named for the war deity Mars. When the weather began to show signs of warming, the Roman armies would march out to war. Marching is what armies have done ever since, to conquer in the power of the deity Mars. So that's where the word march came from. Mars and marching soldiers. The second month is April, the month of Venus, also called Aprilis, from Etruscan apru, from Greek aphro, a short form of Aphrodite, the Greek fertility deity. This was the primary month of the Great Mother Earth, known by many names. The Earth Mother was fertilized or impregnated on a Sunday after the vernal or Venus equinox, when the length of days and nights are equal. This Sunday was called Easter. Prior to this, the pagan priests imposed a fast from sexual relations. We get the term Lent from the Old English word lengthen, which means spring, and refers to the lengthening of the days as winter turns to spring. And then before the next section, it shows the picture again of the rabbit and the eggs. Stop with the fertility symbols. You're scaring the rabbit. The beast or reign of Babel wants everyone to worship the government. And I'm going to pause right here. The Pledge of Allegiance. That's pledging allegiance to the government or pledging allegiance to the object, the flag. But mostly pledging allegiance to the government. And it's sad that they make children do it. I was happy in school when they stopped making people stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. The clergy is the woman riding this organism of control, the beast. Rome enforced its control over governments through concordats, ensuring only their religious traditions would exist in any realm. The U.S. Constitution made such a concordat possible by the Establishment Clause. And then this is for the next section. Ashes on foreheads. Tammuz, Babel's mark in ash. The first day of this fast, the mark of Tammuz was placed on the foreheads of the worshippers. The ancient Tau, T-A-U. Ashes on foreheads comes from the Hindu religion. A huge wave of Gnosticism from the east arrived in the Levant just prior to the 1st century. The Levant is a term for the entire eastern area of the Mediterranean Sea. The 40th day prior to Easter was always a Woden's Day, giving us the term Ash Wednesday. 9 months after the Earth Mother was impregnated at Easter time, a human gestation period, 9 months, the sun was reborn, S-U-N, at the winter solstice. December 25th, further explained under December. May, the month of my birth, the 3rd month. This month was named after the Italic fertility deity Maya, M-A-I-A, if you would like to research that, aka Gaia, Mother Earth, or Mother Nature. June, the 4th month. This was the month dedicated to Juno, J-U-N-O, an important Roman female deity, the wife and sister of Jupiter, identified with the Greeks' Hera. Father's Day was also in this month and on a Sunday, because the sun was the pagan's father. He was in his strength at the summer solstice, so you will notice this is still practiced. July is the 5th month. This month was dedicated to Julius Caesar, or Kaiser, Rome's first emperor. Kaiser is the Greek word. Caesar uses the letter C and the AE in the Latin form used today. August, the 6th month. This word is Latin for venerable, magnificent, awesome. Gaius Octavius took the name Augustus. Kaiser after becoming emperor, and his title is, Augustus Kaiser after becoming emperor, and his title is used for this month. This was to honor himself, as Julius has done before. You're not supposed to have any idols, and you're not supposed to idolize yourself. That is vanity. September is the 7th month. Septem, the Latin word for the number 7. So that's why September is supposed to be the 7th month. October, the 8th month. This is the Latin word October. 8th month, from octo, meaning 8. November, 9th month, the 9th month. This month was Novembris, from the Latin word novem, meaning 9. December, 10th month. Latin decembris, from the number decem, 10. The word decimal refers to 10. All these months have shifted, as you know. So one thing that I don't understand is how we calculate when the feast days are because they added 2 months to our calendar. That's one of the biggest things that I don't understand. I do follow and observe the Shabbat every Saturday, and I attempted to observe Sukkot this past year. I didn't know how freezing it was out. Where we live, it gets cold a lot sooner, so the temperatures were going below 0, so we had to pack up and leave the next morning. I'm going to be more prepared for next Sukkot. Okay, even though we are saying December, Latin for 10, we number it the 12th moon. Rather than correcting this, we just keep thinking something else. The beginning of the year is based on the rebirth of the sun. According to Scripture, we are to begin our counting of the moons in spring, as the sun nears the equatorial region. Exodus 12:2. This is from the perspective of the northern hemisphere and applies to the whole planet. The Creator has spoken, but man's kingdoms ignore him. Speaking to the converts at Galatia, Paul mentions, "You are observing special days and months and seasons and years." Galatians 4:10. The Galatians were once pagan, enslaved in weak, miserable principles. They began turning back to their heathen Babylonian mythology. Read this in context, because your footnotes will lead you to think Paul was speaking about Shabbats and the appointed times. He said, "Let there be lights in the expanse of the sky to separate the day from the night, and let them serve as signs to mark seasons and days and years." Genesis 1:14. It is written, "This month is to be for you the first month of your year." Exodus 12:2. Yahuwah had to remind them because they had been captive as slaves for over 400 years and were now called out from error. And the next section is about January and February added. With only 10 months in the Roman year, the seasons were appearing later and later every year. Julius Kaiser began hearing many complaints, so he appointed an Alexandrian astrologer named, I hope I don't butcher this, Sosigenes or Sosigenes, Sosigenes, S-O-S-I, and then genes like genetics. Okay. To devise the needed corrections. This is the person who was the astrologer that created the 2 extra months. Sosigenes added the 2 months, January and February, to the year 46 BCE, and it was called the Year of Confusion. No wonder everyone would be confused, because you've added 2 months to the year. It's mind-boggling. And if someone's born in January or February, when were they really supposed to be born? Or what month would it have really been that your birthday was if you were born in January or February? That's another question I have. And I can see why it's confusing. And another pagan holiday or tradition is celebrated in January, on January 1st. I wonder if this may be part of it. Let's find out. Okay, so he added January and February to the year 46 BCE, and it was called the Year of Confusion. He also set up the cycle of leap years. More confusion, which added a day to the month of February every 4 years. January is named for a domestic deity Janus, who was the ruler of beginnings, and protected doorways, gates, and arches. Kings would march their armies in processions through great arches. February was named for the female idol Februa. The authority to proclaim new moons resided with the Kaiser. He was the seat of all power, and he was designated the high priest of Janus, the deity of beginnings. The Roman title Pontifex Maximus is Etruscan, bestowed on Kaiser as the head of the Pontifical College of Priests of Janus. The Cardinals. Cardinal in Latin, cardo, meaning hinge. They assisted the priests of Janus in opening the door to the Elysian fields, the pagan heaven. Pontifex Maximus means highest priest in Etruscan, so Kaiser was the gateway to the afterlife for a Roman pagan. Julius Caesar's calendar is called the Julian calendar. We now have the Gregorian calendar because the title Pontifex Maximus was inherited by the Roman Catholic popes. The authority of Kaiser was transferred to this bishop, taking Kaiser's title Pope. This bishop of Rome uses Kaiser's title Papa or Pope, another Mithraic title. He also kept his cardinals. In 1582, Pope Gregory implemented a 10-day adjustment to the calendar designed by Sosigenes by wiping out 10 days for that year. This was obeyed by the Papal States, but the rest of the Western world remained on the former timetable. Strange. It was not until the time of Benjamin Franklin that the rest of society came into line with Rome. The whole world got brainwashed by tradition, or by the use of the new calendar, so that everywhere had the same dates and the same calendar. Because if it wasn't the same everywhere, it would get confusing to some people. To people that lived in places that had the 12-month calendar and people that only had a 10-month calendar, somebody would have learned this a lot sooner. Landlords previously thought they would lose 10 days' rent, but Franklin convinced them they would be receiving their rents 10 days sooner by obliging the Pope, and so now we have the Gregorian calendar. This same Pope authorized what is known as Gregorian chant. These chants stem directly from monks' hymns, originally called Orphic hymns, or the hymns of Orpheus. He simply sanctified the pagan hymns. NIMROD'S rebellion, and it shows Moloch, the one that the demon or the deity where they sacrifice children to. Pagan priests or Nimrod's rebellion. Pagan priests were astrologers who closely monitored the positions of the sun, moon, 5 of the planets, and constellations of stars. The Mazzaroth, or host of heaven, were the sky deities they worshipped. At set times during the year, obligatory worship and human sacrifice was conducted, all based on sex. They knew the path of the sun crossed the celestial equator at the vernal and autumnal equinoxes, producing equal days and nights at those events. To astrologers, the cross symbolizes the sun. Now back to Nimrod, the first king on the earth. He was the grandson of Ham. See Genesis 10. His secular title is suspected to be Sargon I, and he built Babylon and Nineveh. It was possibly Nimrod who built the Tower of Babel, a ziggurat made of bricks. The ruins still exist. Nimrod was a tyrant, and that is what his name means. He was a mighty hunter before Yahuwah. The word before means against in Hebrew. Nimrod turned the people against the truth, the worship of the sky luminaries. Children were sacrificed in exchange for prosperity. He wore a headpiece with a horn in front as ruler, a symbol of his power and authority. What a sight that must have been. King's crowns with horns use this design. The marauding heathens of Genghis Khan and the Vikings of the Norse wore horned hats and helmets to instill fear. Nimrod's idolatry and ruthlessness caused his uncle Shem to destroy him, cutting his body into parts and distributing them around the kingdom. It is said Nimrod took his mother, Semiramis, as a wife. At his death, his wife-mother consoled the people of Sumer by saying she carried Nimrod's child and his name was Tammuz, and named him Tammuz. Nimrod, she explained, had gone into the heavens and was now the sun. So the sun was the father and the earth was the mother. Semiramis was, in effect, a deity representing the earth mother. She was worshipped as Ishtar, the great harlot, Easter. Who is Easter? She is Gaia, Astaroth, Ishtar, Artemis, Venus, Aphrodite, Semiramis, Nature, Great Mother, Frigga, Libertas, Eostre, Durga, Hathor, Queen of Heaven. The original witch on planet Earth was Semiramis, who became the Great Mother in many cultures, the mother of the Geodes, and Terra Mater, Mother Earth. Witches refer to her on bumper stickers as the Goddess, or Great Goddess, Magna Dea. She is known by the various names Ishtar or Istre, Venus, Aphrodite, Gaia, Diana, Circe or Circe, Sibyl, Juno, Rhea, and to the Hindus she is Durga. Pagans worshipped in trinities, threes, inherited from Babel, a father, a mother, and a child. Babel is the reigning head of the world's authoritarian control, Babel's world order. Scripture uses an idiom to describe this system of control: beast. Any beast is an organism, and the four beasts of Revelation... Oh, you're good, Beanie. I'm sorry if you're falling out. You're good. You're good, Beanie. Okay. And the four beasts of Revelation describe how the beast adapts and molds mankind to Babel's teachings, or Babel's teaching authority over all the earth as time goes on. They're ramping up. The more and more that I hear about what's going on in the world, it turns my stomach. The Grammy Awards, the Super Bowl halftime show with drag queens, and people are bringing their children there, and they're seeing this stuff, and people are saying that we're worse than Sodom and Gomorrah. And they had satanic rituals done, and the first ever transgender woman got a Grammy. It's sickening. And everyone clapped, and I'm sure if someone didn't clap, then they would have got thrown out of there. Like, everyone there had to get in line and not speak against it, even if their thoughts were against it. That's how Babel fell. That's how Sodom and Gomorrah fell. Let's see here. Babel remains the head of the beast and is called a mother of harlots, a woman. Like Isabel, she is idolatrous. The woman of the beast household guides the whole operation under her authority. The beast's 4 avatars are manifestations of the original reign of Babel. So all the aspects of the first beast remain to this day. Witchcraft is rebellion, and it began with Nimrod and Semiramis at Babel. The Great Mother, or Queen of Heaven, became mixed into Christianity. At Revelation 2:20, her teachings are those of Isabel. This refers to the witch married to Ahab during the days of Eliyahu. The teachings of Isabel are practiced openly everywhere. They are based on the worship of Baal and Asherah, but hidden in plain sight without being perceived, like a cult being hidden, secretive. Most people are shocked to become aware of the term Sunday and what it means, what it really means, and how they could have been so blind for so long. Pagan customs are all about fertility and reflect observances on the witch's calendar. Are you practicing witchcraft without knowing it? It's like drunkenness. Sobering up to see how nothing Yahuwah commanded is practiced by Christianity is a rude awakening. Instead, everything he told us not to do is practiced. We have been deceived by teaching authorities, given their great power by the dragon. Tradition is taught in place of truth and is the old wine. Witchcraft is employed in unsuspecting ways, institutionalized through teaching authorities or Nicolaitans. Like with Beyonce's drummer, if you guys have heard about that. She tried to press charges on Beyonce for casting molestation witchcraft spells on her and stalking her and doing terrible things to her and threatening her job. And it's just sad. Like, a lot of people didn't believe her. Like, she was attacked on social media after she tried to put Queen Bey in jail for what she was doing. But the judge found that there wasn't enough evidence. Well, it's kind of hard to find evidence when they're talking about witchcraft. And there was only a couple people on social media that believed this girl. That just reminded me of that, so I figured I would bring it up. Hold on one second. Okay. Witchcraft is employed in unsuspecting ways. Institutionalized through teaching authorities, Nicolaitans. Rebellion is as witchcraft. The best place to hide is in plain sight. And keep everyone drunk by teaching them through repetitive maxims. Those with authority ordained or endorsed, that's what that means, to teach are wizards and witches, like the wizards of the KKK. And children see witches in movies, and it's very sad when you see people that have been bullied and they're watching a movie like The Craft and they see teenagers that have been bullied and in school that became witches, and then they get caught up into complete and total paganism and witchcraft and after watching a movie. Like, a lot of the stuff that Hollywood puts out there has a big, huge impact on our youth. The songs they listen to, the people they listen to, the TV shows and the movies they watch. It's time for people to wake up. And children being paraded around for Halloween in costumes at school, not knowing that they're celebrating Samhain. It's just ridiculousness. The best place to hide is in plain sight and keep everyone drunk by teaching them through repetitive maxims. Those with authority or dangers, they masquerade as messengers of light, these wizards and witches, with titles like pastor, nun, pope, or bishop. And I don't know if it's going to be explained here in this book, but nuns were I can't remember what they were called, but they were a something prostitute. And they were dressed the way they were to hide themselves. But they were the temple prostitute. I think that was the name. That's what nuns were really there for. They hold men's credentials, teaching authority, to teach error, producing the strong delusion. We have all been living in an artificial reality, pretending that everything we see and do has real substance. We've been beguiled by evil forces that keep the masses hypnotized or in a trance, captive in strongholds of false reasoning. The truth will set us free of the strong delusion. As long as we live by Yahuwah's word, not man's. Babylonian pillars, obelisks, represented the generative powers of the male genitalia, were simultaneously images of the phallus, Nimrod, and a sun ray, all at the same time. 3 things in one, symbolized by one thing, just like their whole Trinity doctrine. The pole and wreath reveal the same concept of fertility as the ASHERAH Christmas tree and wreath used at the same time at the time of the rebirth of the sun on December 25th. This is the maypole and the wreath on the maypole. Maypole fertility dance. Ishtar is the same word we have seen today in Easter, cloaked by the word Easter, that everyone thought was innocent, but it is not, which Constantine made sure to supersede Passover, to abolish Passover, to cover over Passover, at the Council of Nicaea. Easter refers to Nimrod's mother, also known around the world as Asherah, Ashtoreth, Ishtar, Eostre, Astarte, Maya, Gaia, Diana, Ninurta, Nana, Ceres, Ostara, Ostron, Isis, or Nut, N-U-T, the sky, Aphrodite, Venus, Indrani, Devaki, Tanit, Sybil, Artemis, Athena, and many others. The Canaanites called their shrines to the Earth Mother Asherim. We've been literally Saturnated in sun worship. Woden or Asherim. Now these are the symbols for that. The Asherah tree, the cross for Woden. 1 second. Sorry, that was my husband. The Maypole fertility dance. Okay, I read that. Okay. Wooden ASHERAH. I showed you the illustrations for that. Easter, Babel's great mother. And then these are the illustrations for that. The female and male. Symbols, symbology, the fleur-de-lis symbol, Statue of Liberty or Libertas. This must be ASHERAH. I think all three of those are symbols of the Queen of Heaven or the hosts of heaven, or ASHERAH. They all symbolize her. Easter has been adopted from pagans as the name of the Earth Mother, Queen of Heaven, or Mother Nature. If you recognize Halloween for what it is, then this will be no different after you learn the truth. Easter was already one of the two biggest celebrations observed by pagans long before Christianity. Easter was celebrated by the Assyrians and the Philistines. Goliath no doubt had an Easter basket. You should look up Easter in a Webster's dictionary and do further research in other sources. This festival involves the rites of spring near the equinox of Venus. When pagans believed the Earth Mother was impregnated by the sun, they engaged in ritual sex acts and used symbols of fertility like eggs, rabbits, and hot cross buns. Sorry, my husband is texting. Okay. Yes, there's been some serious stuff going on lately. Very, very bad spiritual warfare. We were deceived. We were tricked by the family court system. They were supposed to drop any and all orders of protections. They extended it until 2030. So please pray for us that my husband's lawyer can find the paperwork and we can have our lives back to some type of normalcy. Because I can't even take the dogs out. I can barely go outside. It's because of the system. And I feel like we're being constricted. This was all supposed to be taken care of 8-9 months ago. It was supposed to all be abolished 8-9 months ago. Yahuwah, please help us. In the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, I pray. Amen. I'm going to say a longer prayer later, but Yahuwah knows what we need. And I feel like he's doing this to strengthen us. Just like the battles we went through for 6-7 years in family court and got nowhere. If they took our kids and they want to keep us apart too. No. Okay. We don't even know how to fix this ourselves. If his lawyer can't find the paperwork, what am I going to do? Hide like a hobbit for the next until we're 50? I'm 31. That's crazy. The Babylonian symbol for the female was and is a circle with a crux beneath. The round cakes were baked for the Queen of Heaven, Regina Coeli, and Great Mother, Magna Mater, with the cross symbol indicating the female. The cross also indicated the equinox, when the Earth's orbit crossed the celestial equator. Hold on now, because everything will be just fine. Stop and go read Jeremiah 44 right now. I'm going to see if I can quickly find that so I can read it for you. Jeremiah, okay. I'm almost there, guys. Sorry. Jeremiah 44. The word that came to Yirmiyahu concerning all the Yahudim who were dwelling in the land of Mitzrayim, or Egypt, who were dwelling at Migdol, and at Tachpanes, and at Noph, and in the land of Pathros, saying, Thus said Yahuwah of Zabuo, the Elohim of Yisrael, you yourselves have seen all the evil that I have brought on Jerusalem, and all the cities of Yehudah. And see, this Yom, this day, they are a ruin, and no one dwells in them. Because of their evil which they have done to provoke me, by going to burn incense, by serving other mighty ones, other deities, whom they did not know, nor you nor your fathers. And I sent to you all my servants and the prophets, rising early and sending them, saying, Please do not do this abominable matter that I hate. But they did not listen or incline their ear to turn from their evil, not to burn incense to other mighty ones. So my wrath and my displeasure were poured out and burned in the cities of Yehudah and in the streets of Jerusalem, and they became a ruin and a wasteland, as it is this Yom, or this day. And now thus said Yahuwah, the Elohim of Zabuo, the Elohim of Yisrael, why are you doing this great evil against your lives, to cut off from you man and Ashah, man and wife, child and infant, from the midst of Yehudah, leaving none to remain? By provoking me with the works of your hands, by burning incense to other mighty ones in the land of Mitzrayim, or Egypt, where you have gone to dwell, to cut yourselves off and be a curse and a reproach among all the nations of the earth, or the Eretz. Have you forgotten the evils of your fathers, and the evils of the sovereigns of Yehudah, and the evils of your wives, which they have done in the land of Yehudah and in the streets of Jerusalem? To this Yom, to this day, they have not been humbled, nor have they feared, nor have they walked in my Torah and in my laws, that I set before you and your fathers to do. Therefore thus said Yahuwah of Zabuo, the Elohim of Yisrael, See, I am setting my face against you for evil, and for cutting off all Yehudah. And I shall take the remnant of Yehudah, who have set their faces to go into the land of Mitzrayim, or Egypt, to sojourn there, and they shall all be consumed in the land of Mitzrayim, fall by the sword, consumed by scarcity of food, starvation. From the least to the greatest they shall die, by the sword and by the scarcity of food, and they shall be an oath and an astonishment and a curse and a reproach. And I shall punish those dwelling in the land of Mitzrayim, as I have punished Jerusalem by the sword, by scarcity of food, and by pestilence. And none of the remnant of Yehudah, who have gone into the land of Mitzrayim to sojourn there, shall escape or survive, lest they return to the land of Yehudah, to which they are longing to return to dwell there. For they shall not return except those who escape. Then all the men who knew that their wives had burned incense to other mighty ones, and all the women who stood by a great assembly, and all the people who dwelt in the land of Mitzrayim, in Pathros, and answered Yirmiyahu, saying, We are not going to listen to you. in the matter about which you spoke to us in the name of Yahuwah. But we shall do whatever has gone out of our own mouth, to burn incense to the sovereigness of the Shamayim, or the Queen of Heaven, and pour out drink offerings to her, as we have done, we and our fathers, our sovereigns and our heads, in the cities of Yehuda and in the streets of Jerusalem, and we have plenty of food, and were well off, and saw no evil. But since we ceased burning incense to the sovereigness of Shamayim, and pouring out drink offerings to her, we lack all, and have been consumed by the sword and by scarcity of food. Well, that was because of all the evil that they did, and worshiping other deities. The host of heaven is not to be worshipped. The Queen of Heaven is not to be worshipped. The only one to be worshipped is Yahuwah, who came in the likeness, or Yahusha came in the likeness of his father Yahuwah, and they are one. And when we burned incense to the sovereigness of the Shamayim, or the heavens, and poured out drink offerings to her, did we make cakes for her to idolize her, and pour out drink offerings to her without our husbands? Then Yirmiyahu spoke to all the people, to the men and to the women, and to all the people who had given him that answer, saying, As for the incense that you burned in the cities of Yehuda and in the streets of Jerusalem, you and your fathers, your sovereigns and your heads, and the people of the land, did not Yahuwah remember them? And it came into his heart. And Yahuwah could no longer bear it, because of the evil of your deeds and because of the abominations which you did. Therefore your land is a ruin, an object of astonishment, a curse, and without an inhabitant, as it is this yom, this day. Because you have burned incense, and because you have sinned against Yahuwah, and did not obey the voice of Yahuwah, or walk in his Torah, in his laws, or in his witnesses, therefore this evil did befall you, as at this yom, or this day. I must be doing something right. Crows just crowed outside. I don't think Hashatan's too happy right now. Praise Yah. And Yirmiyahu said to all the people and to all the women, Hear the word of Yahuwah, all Yehuda who are in the land of Egypt, or Mitzrayim. Thus spoke Yahuwah of Zabuo, the Elohim of Yisrael, saying, You and your wives have spoken with your mouths, and have filled with your hands, saying, We shall perform our vows that we have made, to burn incense to the sovereigness, or the queen of the Shamayim, or the heavens, and pour out drink offerings to her. Then confirm your vows and perform your vows. Therefore hear the word of Yahuwah, all Yehuda who are dwelling in the land of Mitzrayim, or Egypt. See, I have sworn by my great name, declares Yahuwah. My name shall no longer be called upon by the mouth of any man of Yehuda in all the land of Mitzrayim, or Egypt, saying, As the Master Yahuwah lives. See, I am watching over them for evil and not for good. And all the men of Yehuda who are in the land of Mitzrayim, or Egypt, shall be consumed by the sword and by scarcity of food until they come to an end. And those who escape the sword, few in number, shall return from the land of Mitzrayim, or Egypt, to the land of Yehuda. And all the remnant of Yehuda who came into the land of Mitzrayim to sojourn there shall know whose word is established, mine or theirs. And this is the sign to you, declares Yahuwah, that I am punishing you in this place, so that you know that my words are certainly established against you for evil. Thus said Yahuwah, See, I am giving Pharaoh Khofra, sovereign of Mitzrayim, or Egypt, into the hand of his enemies, and into the hand of those who seek his life. As I give, I'm sorry if I butcher this, Sidkiah, Tzidkiyahu, sovereign of Yehuda, into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, sovereign of Babel, his enemy who sought his life. That's exactly spelled right out in Scripture. Not to do evil and not to do things, weird rituals like burning incense and pouring out drink offerings. Like, I didn't even know that pouring out a drink to anything was a ritual, but it is. And it's against Yahweh. Any kind of strange ritualistic things are against Yahweh. The next part is ASHERAH is the term for the Earth Mother, called the Queen of Heaven, which Yasharah committed sexual idolatry with. The Maypole ritual uses a pole, which is a phallus, or symbolizes a phallus, a wreath, which symbolizes a vagina, and ribbons, which symbolize a hymen. To ensure a prosperous growing season, pagans rolled eggs decorated with the bright colors of spring on their fields, hoping to imbue fertility. That's another ritual. Forbidden by Yahuwah. Big red ribbon and mayoral staff. These eggs were then hidden from evil spirits in rabbits' nests under another symbol of fertility. Easter is the name of the Babylonian mother of harlots, Revelation 17. I made a video about Revelation 17. It's called the Last Days series or the End Time series. And her image stands as the sun goddess, Lady Libertas, in New York Harbor. This Colossus statue even has the tower headpiece, as seen worn by Artemis, worshipped as Diana at Ephesus. The sun rays, the torch, and facing the sun, or the sunrise, tell us it is an ancient sun goddess, and Yahuwah hates it. He despises it. The rays of the sun are seen on images of Apollo, the Roman sun deity Constantine worshipped, which he confused with Yahusha, and the world has inherited that futility. Her emblem is the flower of the lily, seen illustrated above. The fleur de lis symbol symbolizes the lily. An American society called the Easter Seal Society uses the fleur de lis, French flower of the lily, as their logo. And they have no religious affiliation. Most church groups decorate with lilies on Easter morning. Instead of inheriting the truth, they inherited Babylon, which I proved in Jeremiah. They do nothing Yahuwah instructed us to do, but everything he ordered us to never learn to do. Athena is Greek for deathless one. Mankind is exploited as they search for love, and few find the eternal love of their Creator as they fall prey to the schemes of the devil. Notice the serpent next to the shield below. I'll show you after. It has been said Athena would shake her spear when she heard lies. And this part of the mythology about her gives the pen name Shakespeare to the unverified author of 400 years ago. That's just a lovely statue of an idol, of a deity. Not really. It's an abomination. Shaitan, or Satan, hides and imitates. He is often depicted as female. So I wonder if that's where they, them came from demonic possession and from from Shaitan or Satan being, or sometimes thinking of himself as female, or not minding if people depict him as female. This being has deceived every nation or Gaiam of the whole earth. He rules through a beast worldwide, authoritarian teaching authority, imposing its mind control or brainwashing. It is the reign of Babel and operates in 3 estates: clergy, laity, and nobility. Or clergy, nobility, and then laity, in that order. Common people are the laity. A 4th estate has developed in recent centuries called the media. Let me see. Since I read some scripture to go along with this, and my video kind of went over on how long I usually do, next time, in my next lesson, I will be reading Easter Beast Pagan Festival in the Spring. Worship Yahuwah your Elohim in... You must not worship Elohim, Yahuwah your Elohim in their way. They eliminated everything Yahuwah told us to do. The essay on the development of Christian doctrine. Constantine on a coin with Apollo. Psalm 22 and Passover. Shalom, restoring Bikurim, Hebrew for first fruits or firstborn. Sun pillars and pillars of jealousy. Church, I gave them my Shabbats, master of the Shabbat Yahusha, binding ourselves to Yahuwah, and I think that's probably all I'll have time for next time. It might be a little less or a little shorter next time because there might be some scriptures I can read for you guys in those too as well. And we are getting through this book kind of fast. I'm already on page 51 and there's only 80 pages. But I will, after Sunday Origins, this is the book I will be reading. Timeline. The end has already begun. And if anyone has any of Lou White's books that they would like me to read on here, if they could send them to me, please let me know. I can send you my husband's email and we can talk. Just let me know, because I don't have any other way of getting more books. My brother Matt, bless his heart, he sent me these books. And I'm still on hard times. And I know a lot of people are. Yahuwah bless you all. I love you all. Brothers and sisters in Yahuwah, warriors of Yahuwah and the truth. Let's keep up the good fight. Stay on the narrow way. Keep with the commandments. Keep the Shabbat. And rest. Shalom and blessings.